My earliest memories are of me sitting on the couch watching this film and then reenacting the entire death scene at the end where I like sit on the couch and pretend that I'm like Juliet killing myself. And then I fell backwards on the couch and it was a whole thing. Oh my God.
These conversations always start with the origin story between guest and chosen subject. So you remember seeing this version of Romeo and Juliet for the first time?
I have been watching this movie so long, I actually don't remember when I first saw it. And it came out in 96. So I was 4. And I'm assuming distribution and all that takes about a year. So I usually say that I've been watching this movie since I was 5 because my earliest memories are of me sitting on the couch watching this film and then reenacting the entire death scene at the end where I sit on the couch and pretend that I'm like Juliet killing myself. And then I fell backwards on the couch and it was a whole thing. Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't have parents that supervised me too much, so...
I was reading a bunch of stuff in preparation for this, and there were lots of people who their memories were like, yeah, I think my parents thought that it was going to be something different to what it was. And then the second it starts, there's, these a shootout at the gas station and people are swearing. But you gotta, kids have to see that stuff sometime. So
it is, it's culture. I was learning Romeo and Juliet. I was learning Shakespeare at a young age because I was reading since I was 4. So right. I think it was only it only made sense so that when I finally watched it in grade 10, I think it was, English class, with people, I was getting my life because I was oh, you guys don't even know.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think, why it has kind of stood the test of time and in a lot of people's estimation, gone up in their estimation since it first came out, critics kind of revising their opinions when they weren't sure when it came out. And now they're no, it's really essential, is exactly that it would kind of gave kids a way into Shakespeare that felt very relevant and contemporary and modern.
Yeah. And I think it's also there's so much art that gets made that gets forgotten about, but within the time, it seems like it's the biggest deal. And then years later, you're actually, when I was there, this song was popular, this movie was popular, Romeo and Juliet, nobody really cared about that movie. Everybody's making fun of it, blah, blah. And then all these decades later, maybe Baz Luhrmann's films aren't always super popular, but he has a style. Know exactly what his style is. When I first saw Moulin Rouge as well, I was oh, this is a feeling I got with Romeo and Juliet. It's the same guy. And I think now everything is so the same, beige and boring and just bland. And his movies are a drug shot. The pacing of the films, even the costuming, it's very simple. But many a mood board has been built off the 1996 costuming design. That whole opening scene, there was so much chaos happening that I think it could only capture the attention of a 5-year-old.
He gets you in it straight away. It's
yes, exactly.
Eased into a sense of what this film is going to be. It's no.
He starts with an epilogue. That's the end, girl. He starts with... Words have meanings, guys. Epilogue is end. But he starts with his little introduction, and it's a small little screen. He loves a narrator coming in and a tiny little moment to kind of tell you this is what the story is going to be about. And then he's let's fucking go. And it's just nonstop, but heartfelt, but nonstop until then.
But having that prologue be a news report is so brilliant. And it makes it so that the convention of having a narrator or having somebody who's outside of the story giving some exposition, it makes it make more sense. It's this is factual information that's being given to the public as this is what's going on right now, blah, 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 blah. And it helps you to kind of get grounded into that world as well, because it's saying, these two families are like, they're public figures. People know who they are. And so it's support about what's happened, and it makes sense.
And then I saw Mercutio, and I was like, this has awakened something in me. Like, it's just like, what's happening here?
And that, I think, goes back to what you were saying about like a very different version of Shakespeare. Like, you know, when I've seen other modernized versions of Shakespeare, either is something very small where it's like, this is just a kitchen table family drama and it's a single set in someone's living room. Or it's something like, it's the same play, but in a war, and there's soldiers, and it's just like, you know, this is a much more expansive concept, and having Mercutio in drag performing like Young Hearts Run Free. Young heart, to yourself be true. Don't be no fool when love really don't love you. All of that stuff. I mean,
while he's tripping on drugs, like, it's just so that whole sequence. The wig gets bigger. The wig got bigger. Which is also one of my favorite comedic gags, when you see something and every time you go back to it, it just keeps getting larger. Like, but like him, full beard, red lipstick, just screaming. Even when he runs out of the car, when he's first meeting them and his left booty cheek is showing in that skirt. Like, this movie is imprinted in my brain, and it just makes so much sense why I'm the person I am. Cause like, it's very campy. It's very outrageous. It's very loud. It's very in your face. I don't know which one of your viewers get to see video, but I have like orange hair. And it like looks calm and chill, but I have a lot of piercings and bleached eyebrows. Like, if somebody was like, you like the film Romeo and Juliet, huh? They shouldn't be surprised that I say yes, just based off my aesthetic alone.
And like you said, that first moment of introduction, having this like essentially drag queen come out of a car, like stumbling out, just like in all of his fabulousness, is just, it's such a delight.
Yes. And it's like, the thing that you were saying about like, it's the quote unquote classics of Shakespeare and stuff, and then you have a drag queen coming out too and all that stuff. To me, that's what art is. Like, you need to be able to experiment and play around. And I don't think it's maybe so much now as like you're making a completely new thing that has not been derived from anything or has not been inspired by anything. No, there's nothing new under the sun. But I think there's a great skeleton of work that comes before you that you can use to inform your own, which is what I do without even realizing it. Like, because I'm a classically trained singer. I'm a classically trained soprano. I struggled for a long time in school because in opera school, because it just felt so rigid and so like, this is how you do it. And I had been singing jazz music before, which is the complete opposite of that. Like, when I would sing with my friends or hang out with people, we'd just be making shit up, harmonizing, like all that stuff. You like, with opera, it's like, this is how they wanted you to sing it. So don't deviate too much from that. Do it this way, this, that, and the third. And I just graduated feeling like, okay, I don't really know if I can do this or if I even want to sing this style, because I just feel like it's not me fully. So then, you know, I saw a woman doing the Queen of the Night aria on a pole, and I was like, oh shit, you could do that instead.
There was a clip that I saw the other day that was like, I think Jessie Buckley and Josh O'Connor doing Romeo and Juliet, and they're just speaking like normal people. They're interacting with them, each other in this super contemporary way that just feels like normal people talking, even though they're not speaking in contemporary language. And anything that can bring me closer, I understand the weight of this story, of all of his stories, and how important.
Exactly.
So giving me access to them in a way that I can connect with, I appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot more. And I think audiences, like, it's not that audiences are dumb. A lot of people just don't have the knowledge of like years of art school, whatever school you go to, you have to really study this thing. Like, people really don't, in the same way that I'm saying art's fun and free and whatever, it's also something that like you have to care about and study and care about crafting. You don't necessarily have to do it in an institution, I don't believe. But like, I think people because you're so aware of all this different stuff, you're aware of how you can appreciate Shakespeare when other people do it and not necessarily have to do it for yourself. I think as well, I want us to start developing new backbones when it comes to like creatives of the past that we appreciate, because it's like the same people over and over again. Like, I get it. Shakespeare's great. Wonderful. Love him down. To me, Toni Morrison is the greatest writer that's ever lived. Like, she's my Shakespeare, personally. Guys, there's so much other art and creativity out there that if you like something like Romeo and Juliet, if you're open-minded enough to see a film like that and it pulls you into Shakespeare, then who's to say you can't explore other artists and creatives that are also not just changing traditional works like we were talking about, but also like, I don't know, like, I don't trust people that can only give me like old white guys as their reference in any field of art. If the only people you're recommending to me are of one background, I don't trust you.
It makes me suspicious of people, and
yeah, I don't trust your taste.
But it's also like this very, not just closed-minded, but it's like a closed heart, like somebody who hasn't approached the world with curiosity and is like, this is my lane, this is what I appreciate, I don't care about anything else, I don't want to know about anything else. And whatever criticisms people have of any of Baz Luhrmann's work, he really fucking goes for it. And in the casting in this film, it's like, you know, Harold Perrineau playing Mercutio, having people like, you know, John Leguizamo, and a cast of like very contemporary young actors who bring a new energy to this movie and can draw.
That's the energy. They really were like, all right, we're going to do it. Like, let's just fucking go. Let's see what happens. Like, and sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
No. I mean, just, it's just everyone who's involved in it made me feel more excited about watching it. Just really going for it and doing these, like, I don't know if extreme is the right word, but like being creatively free and saying,
yes,
this is my artistic vision. It may not be for everybody. It is me really pushing my taste to the forefront, but here it is. Take it or leave it.
And one of my favorite quotes from Nina Simone is when she says, you know, freedom is no fear. No fear. Like, she's like, if I could have that for the rest of my life, no fear. I mean, to really just, like, it's, to me, that is freedom defined truly, like, or feeling the fear and still doing something anyway. Feeling the fear and doing something completely nuts, doing something that's in your brain. And as somebody that does do that, like, take something from my brain and then make a production out of it. Like, people don't always get it. In the process, it's something I had to learn when I was putting on my first operatica production. It's like, people besides me couldn't really tell. And sometimes you can communicate that, but other times it feels like you're not really effectively communicating the vision. But I'm like, trust me, it's in my brain and I promise I will not lead you astray. Like, I don't want it to look crazy either. We're going to go to the edge of crazy. And then we're going to bring it right back. We're going to mix WAP with Habanera. Okay. L'amour est un oiseau rebelle que nul ne peut apprendre. With some, make it drop. That we're going to do a fusion of those two. Right? Like you're saying, being open-minded enough, being bold enough to feel the fear and still just do shit, commit to the cuckoo, commit to whatever, because nobody's in your brain but you. And when you can finally make the vision come to life, you don't know what permission that's going to give somebody else. Another one of my favorite quotes ever, because I love a quote, is from Rumi. It's like, words spoken from the heart will enter the heart. So if you're speaking honestly and open, and in my view, if you're doing that, it will connect to some people. It may not connect to everybody, but it will connect to a group of people at least, and it will last a lot longer because you're not just going off of, he could have just made an erotic thriller in the 90s.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Baz Luhrmann's complete filmography, like all the stuff he's directed and worked on. And I know a lot of 90s directors and 2000s directors were music video directors and movie ones. So
yeah, he came from the theater and he hasn't made that many movies. He's only made like...
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, I feel like...
Yeah,
I'm like, I feel like anytime he's making a movie, I know about it. Like, but maybe he had some, some directors they are like, maybe they do that now more so. You were in acting, so you'd probably know better than I would, that they might give more directors like different movies now to kind of test them out and see how like viable they will be, give them a Marvel movie or something. And then, or maybe they don't give them a big budget right away, but either way.
I'm, case by case basis, I'm sure, but
like even like Nia DaCosta. I don't know if you saw 28 Years Later, bruh. Because I didn't love Candyman, and I was like, they're not gonna do this to another black woman. She didn't write it. Hey, like me screaming from the rooftop. She didn't write it.
The first 28 Years Later, I was a bit about like.
Really?
I wasn't crazy about it. This, I think, is my favorite one of all of them.
I think so too. Can we calm down? But it was the entire Iron Maiden scene, I was just like, this is cinema. I almost stood up and started clapping at the end of it. But the way that she and who knows who else she was inspired by, you know what I mean? Right. Mm-hmm. So she being like a black woman director, there's probably a lot of different inspirations that she pulls from that I appreciate. And I love that there was so much like bonkers, demonic gothiness in it, because I'm just like, as a black girl, I'm alt. Like, I like a little freaky, weird stuff. I've loved Halloween since I was a kid. Like, I have lots of tattoos and piercings, but on my body, because I have darker skin, people don't see them right away. So people don't automatically like see how I look, as maybe they do in my face and hair. I don't know. I can't tell people what they see, but like, in the same way of like, you just see somebody dressed like a goth and like they look really alternative. You like, okay, that person's alternative. I'm very happy that Nia was able to direct this and do this and add all these dark elements, because maybe not all black people like horror, whatever. I'm not going to speak for black people, but like I do. And I know plenty of black people that do. And plenty of black girls that love freaky, weird, horror, grotesque, like stuff that maybe we don't see ourselves in a horror genre, or we don't get to see ourselves in like getting to direct crazy stuff like a Baz Luhrmann would get to do and stuff like that, because it's like, this is what we expect you to be. This is what we expect you to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know what her inspirations were and stuff like that, but based off her age and like how the movie was, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of similarities in our media diet of like things that inspired her.
I'm excited to see what she does next.
You know what? I'm about to get mad again. Nia, you did your fucking big one with that, and I can't wait to see what else you do. And these hoes, if you're listening to this, Nia, if you're listening, these hoes don't understand you. Sorry. This is how I get sometimes.
Yes. Well,
we started talking about Romeo.
Yes. I think, first of all, any digression into horror is like my safe place. Me
too.
So
that really is a comfort.
And I also think #JusticeForNia is a perfect way to finish things off. This has been so much fun. I hadn't seen this movie in so long, and I watched it.
Really?
It was so nice to have an excuse to like come back to it. So I really appreciate it. And also finishing off with living fearlessly and making art with no bounds. So,
and an open heart.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much. This has really been a joy. So
thank you so much for having me.
Hey, do you want more conversations with incredible people talking about the movies and music they love? Then subscribe to the Spark Parade YouTube channel.